in Arizona where I spent 2 days teaching leaders. And the next thing you know, it opened him up and he made $8 million with it. But what if I had, Luis, you're better than that. You need to. No. He's not in the business for my income. He's in for his family. And let me make you feel good about what it is that you're doing. Now, Peter, on the other hand, I beat him up every now and then. And Amy and Steve as well. Peter says, hey, Hilton, you know what? I need to get six. Peter, don't talk to me if you're talking about 6 figures a month. I will never let you ride with me again, okay? But that kind of conversation we have, and we have it often, right? All right? And then he came in and knocked out 6 figures, all right? So Peter and I, he knows he can't have a conversation with me unless it's 6 figures a week or higher. Okay? Anyway, so 60 days is what it takes to do that. Now, here's what happens. What I'll teach you is how to identify the 3 to 4 that's going to do it. Let me tell you who they're not. The ones who tell you that they're going to do it. Yep. Watch out for those, all right? Hey, who set the record? Such and such. I'm going to break the record. I'm going to be your number 1. Be careful of those people. This is the last time you're going to see it. Okay? So here's what you do. I'll show you how to identify. I won't do it tonight, but that's what coaching and mentoring is about. Is I don't show you something that's miraculous. I give you small little things that adjust your mindset 1 degree. But see, that 1 degree makes a major difference. It makes a huge difference. Just that 1 degree of correction is the difference between making $40,000 a month and $400,000 a month. 1 degree. Okay? 1 degree. You start off here, and this is north, and you're going 3 years thinking you're going north, but you're off by 1 degree. That's where you end up over here. But you were 1 degree off in the beginning. So coaching and mentoring is about making sure I make the adjustments to keep you here. Yeah. That's all. That's all we're going to do. So it's not going to seem like, oh, he opened up the heavens and, boomerangs just fell out for me. No, it doesn't work that way. But it's just going to be small little things that I'm going to show you how to think about your business differently than you currently do and give you those adjustments. It's more up here. The money that you're going to make, if you want to get to extreme wealth and network marketing, it's not about how hard you work. I work real hard, but it's physically impossible to make the amount of money I've made by work. It's my thinking. It's how I think through the process. It's how I think through the business and create other people to think through the business that duplicates and magnifies that. And we'll show you that later. So now, 3 to 4 is what you're going to find. When you identify these 3 to 4, here's what I'm going to show you how to do. Work through that calendar that some of you had. I saw somebody had somebody had the flight plan calendar. I saw one. I thought, can I borrow yours real quick? Awesome. Okay. This right here is where my money is made, right here. I learned this from a guy named Paul Miller. Okay? Paul Miller is an Amway distributor. He's a Crown Diamond. He was my #1 speaker. I've never met him. I listen to every single tape. I can tell you all of his kids, when he had them, how old they are, because I know his whole story. I've listened to every tape he's ever produced, and he was one of the best teachers of network marketing. And I listened to his tapes probably about 3,000 to 4,000 times. And I never forget, he used to always teach me, draw your group out, Holton. And I used to always put my name in there. He never said my name because I never met him. Draw your group out, Holton. And so here's what I learned this. This is when I never made more than $500 a month, but I learned what to do. And it wasn't until I found the right opportunity. I just applied what I learned. And guess what? In less than 6 months, I was at $20,000 a week in my first binary. Actually, in less than 90 days. Okay? By applying this stuff, because I already had the work ethic. So we created this flight plan calendar, and it shows you how to, number 1, you draw out your group. Everything is a science that we have here. So when we say sponsor 12, guess what? We've got 12 stars there. Those are the 12 that you're going to actually build, personally sponsored people. What you'll notice, I'll teach you how to identify your group and draw it out in descending order of strength. So here's your binary middle. This is your left team. You'll put the largest leg on your left side, will go here, and then you will find other developing leaders. And you'll write their names down in here. And I'm going to teach you, and Amy will be teaching you how to identify who these people are. So when I want to give you a counseling session, all I'm going to do is to tell you, what's your name, sir?
Gene.
Gene, take a photocopy or a picture with of your calendar and send that picture over to me. This tells me more about your business than you can ever tell me through your mouth. I'll look through this and I'll tell you when you're going to get to 20 grand a month. And I'll always be within about 5 to 10% accurate. Why? It's a science, it's not guessing. So if network marketing has worked for you like this, Gene, keep putting more people in. Keep putting more people in, you got the wrong coach. You shouldn't ever have to just keep putting people in. What are you doing with the people? And how do you actually manifest that into a result? That's why we've got a scientific method of how we do it. So here's what we do here. I'll teach you here, out of these 12, like I told you, you're gonna have 3 to 4. So what I'll show you is that when you identify those 3 to 4, and I'll teach you later how to identify who those 3 to 4 are, here's what I'm doing, okay? So when I find one, what's your name? Melissa. So for example, if this was an opportunity meeting, what I always do at an opportunity meeting, I'm a talent scout. That's all I do in network marketing. I'm always looking for Amy's replacement. I sponsor Amy, and Steve, let's say Amy invited you. Even though we're friends, if she invites me to her people, I'm looking for her replacement. Why? I don't know what's going to happen and whether somebody's going to get her negative. So if she invites me to meet her people, it's over. Because they're going to fall in love with what I know. And so I'm going to make sure I give her something to lose by making a bad decision. So now, Gene, here, I'm sorry, Melissa. So Melissa, let me ask you a question. Do you want to make money slow or you want to make money fast? Fast. Guess what? I knew she was going to say that. I've done this once or twice. Melissa, let me ask you a question. If I showed you how to put $500 in your pocket, which day would be best for you for me to show you, Tuesday or Thursday? Tuesday? Let me ask you a question. $500 is okay, but if I show you how to put $2 grand in your pocket for the month, would that be okay? Absolutely. So listen, Thursday I'll show you how to make the first 500, but I'll make sure I commit the next 3 Wednesdays and we'll make the next 1,500. Is that okay? Great. Now, on Thursday when I come, could you guarantee me about 15, 20 people at your house? You know, kind of like what Amy did, put you on the list. Can you do that for me to make $500? Yeah. I just now got 4 meetings committed to her. I committed her to 1 meeting first. Why? 4 is overload. She committed to 1 first. Then I said 2,000 for the month. She agreed. We're going to make the other 500 the next 3 Thursdays. Guess what? I don't even plan on being at your house the 4th Thursday anyway. I'm going to be 2 to 3 levels of depth in somebody else's house, but in your group. Why? I'm going to give you something to lose by quitting as well. Okay? This is how I work the business. It's simple. I do this in my sleep. I don't do the fancy stuff. I don't know how to send out, autoresponder stuff. I know how to do this in my sleep because this works 100% of the time. So now I got Melissa over here, and guess what? I've got Gene here on Tuesdays. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for 2 other people. Why? Because I'm going to show you how to work the business 4 days a week. You've got Sunday here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you've got Saturday. So here's what happens. When I get with people, I tell them, hey, listen, let's do this. Melissa, let's go ahead and map out whatever's most important to you. So if spiritual time is on your number 1 priority, go ahead and map that out if you're not going to do our boomerang on that. If you've got family time, go ahead and map that out. If you've got a job, we're not going to do our boomerang on your job, okay? Because I don't want you doing your job on our boomerang time. Give your company 100% of the effort. Don't do our boomerang on your job. But once you get off, there should be nothing more important than creating a legacy of wealth for your family. So when I was working my job, I did not do my network marketing business on my job. But when I got off, I was an MLM maniac. I was a maniac. So now, I've got Thursdays over here with Melissa. I've got Tuesdays over here. Kimberly, I've got on Saturdays. Okay, but on Saturdays, I'm a weekend warrior because I can do 2 meetings on Saturday. I've got 4 meetings. Why? I've sponsored 12. I've identified 3 to 4. I'm not going to book a meeting for somebody who's sitting in the meeting the entire time like this, who signed up. This is why I watch and I pay attention to who's at my meeting. I'm gonna book a meeting for the person who's asking a lot of questions and the person who's smiling a lot. Mm-hmm. The person who's like this, they ain't gonna invite anybody. They're incubating, and I know it. Why? I've been doing this 29 years. Okay? So here's what I do. There's two numbers that I want you to learn. It's all in this calendar. If you master these two numbers, you can create any income you want. The number 5 and the number 1,000. Master these two numbers, it's over. This is how I made $110 million, just with this. Here's what I did. The number 5. How many people did I ask Melissa to bring to the meeting?
15 to 20.
Why? All I want is 5. I know normally she's not going to get the 15 to 20. In most cases. Now she probably will. I want 5, but I'm never going to ask them to give me what I want. No. You tell them to bring 5, they're going to call 5 people. And call one of them twice. Say, yeah, I got 5 coming. So I said 15 to 20. She shows up with 5. She's disappointed. I'm sitting in there like, man, I got me a rock star here. And what I do is I build her up. She's going to be disappointed. You know what? You did absolutely incredible. My first meeting, nobody showed up. You're 5 times better than me. And so now, here's what happens. What's the 1,000? I want 1,000 QV of sign-up volume for every meeting that you do. So if we get one person sign up out of your 5 at the first class, we're done. We're done. If we get 2 at the business class, we're done. 4 at the coach, we hit our goal. Sometimes you're going to hit it, sometimes you're going to miss, sometimes you're going to far exceed it. But 5 and 1,000. So here, guess what? Thursday night, I got 1,000 points of business. Over here, I'm working over here. I got 1,000 over here with Kimberly. Over here, I got 1,000 over here. I got 1,000 over here with Jean. Now, let me ask you a question. How many times a week am I presenting the business?
4.
4. How much volume am I looking for per meeting?
1,000.
What's 4 times 1,000?
4,000.
How many weeks are there in a month?
4.
What's 4 times 4,000?
16.
How much volume does it take to go Sapphire?
15.
I don't teach people how to go Sapphire. I teach people how to have a calendar that looks like this. You teach people how to go Sapphire, it's too much volume. I don't teach people to get what they want. I teach them how to do the thing that will bring them what they want. If you ever bowl, don't try to bowl a strike. My grandmother was a great bowler. She said, son, here, you see those arrows right there? Make sure your ball hits the arrow right there. And now that's going to make me get a strike. But trying to bowl from where I was when I was 8 years old and make sure I control the ball all the way down, it's too big. So I give them how many of you can have a calendar with 4 circles in it per week? Everybody can do that. You want to go diamond? Just get 8 people who have a calendar that looks like this and you're diamond. It doesn't take 100 people. It takes 8 people who have a calendar that's filled out like this, and you're a diamond. It's $250,000 a year, minimum. Minimum. So this is how you go Sapphire. This is how you unleash all of those generational bonuses by making sure you have a calendar that looks like this. And so my next thing, now that I've got the 4 over here who's giving me, who's doing this, out of those, see, every group of leaders, there's always a leader. No matter how small you bring it down to, there's always a leader amongst the leaders. So out of the 12, you have 4. Out of the 4, you're going to have 1. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking to see out of these 4 people that I'm working with every week. So now I come back to your house the second week. We sponsored 3 the first night, 1 at first class, 2 at business class. Now I'm coming back again the following Thursday. I'm having those 3 to invite more. If I find who I'm looking for, the 3rd meeting is no longer at your house. The 3rd meeting is at their house. I'm doing a boom party at their house. and I'm going to keep taking it deep. And now, Thursdays, I'm at somebody else's house. You're now at somebody else's house on Thursdays because you're developing somebody to have a calendar that looks like this. It's so simple, but I draw it all out. It's a game plan. I don't go into network marketing hoping. I go in it with a game plan. I already know what my outcome is going to be. And so should you. And so we keep it very simple. I know this may be a lot for you now, but you'll hear it over and over because Amy will tell you, I've been saying the same thing for the last 16 years because it works. You're going to hear me say the same thing. I'll just probably not have on an orange shirt. Same thing, okay? So does this make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Man. Well, awesome. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. The main important thing is, guys, is just whatever you do, just be excited about what you're doing. Thank you so much for your comment. Appreciate that. Just whatever you're doing, just be excited about what you're doing. And the main thing I can tell you is this here, okay? The second thing I can tell you is this, because I do know that transitioning for some is difficult. It's not easy. I've done it, okay? But what I can tell you is indecision kills your volume.
Both ways.
It kills your current group and it kills your future group. Okay, I'm just telling you this because I know. This is what I know, and I'm not telling any but one of you to abandon anything. I'm just telling you that doing anything halfway is how you get injured. And I don't believe in doing anything halfway. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying somebody's got to go full out, whatever decision you make, just make your decision and commit to whatever decision that it is that you're making, because otherwise you're going to confuse people and you're going to lose your leadership. I've seen it happen. I have a guy over in London right now. He was with the company. Company that we all know. It's actually a company that's even that just had a convention here recently. So he sought me out. Says, Mr. Bugs, man, I always want to work with you. My wife and I flew into London. He had a group of people to meet us at 2 o'clock in the morning. They drove 6 hours just to meet with me. They got there at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just finishing up a meeting. I sat in the lobby and met with them. So he's some super fired up, and they're young. They're millennials. And I never forget, it was just like, he asked me 2 months worth of questions, right? And he was so gung-ho about our boomerang, and then he was so apprehensive about some of the other stuff that the people who was on his current team at his other company left him anyway. He ended up doing our boomerang anyway with a much smaller group than he had before because of indecision. And I don't say that for frightening any of you. I'm just being honest with you and just sharing with you how to maximize anything you do. I don't care if you don't do iBoomerang. Honestly, that's not what I'm here for. I'm just sharing with you how you do anything is how you do everything. And so if you're so hesitant in your pursuit, people watch. Specifically, if you're a leader, people watch you. And you want to make sure that what they're watching, you're giving them something to watch. Okay. And so other than that, guys, I'll be here for you as much as we can. I know I won't be able to do these meetings often on a private basis, but I was grateful to be here. You guys took a trip. All of you came down to Houston, so I want to return the favor and come up here and do a meeting for you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you guys. I appreciate it.